Here's a topical news story. Heard about this Fyre Festival thing?
No, I have not.
Fyre Festival.
I'm excited now.
I mean, I have a more entertainment news twist on this.
Okay.
But if you don't know what Fyre Festival is, some people tried to throw a music festival in the Bahamas called Fyre Festival. And the tickets, the lowest tickets you get were like $450.
Okay.
Which is really expensive. They'd fly you to the Bahamas, and there was a music festival there with, who is... I don't even know,
So these are, known people. These aren't, amateurs.
I don't know who set it up, but it was a hyped-up music festival that had advertisement, and tons of people were going to it to see artists. I think one of them was Blink-182. They dropped out because they saw that it was not looking good.
Okay.
And what ended up happening...
ticket sales weren't looking good? Or what you're about to say was not looking good?
Ticket sales were not, I think, fine. I think a lot of people were going. This is what was not looking good. It was a bad festival. It's hilariously bad. And if you look into this, it is just hysterically bad. Because... basically what happened is people paid $450 per ticket to be flown to the Bahamas, and they were just there, stranded. There was
I think nothing, I did hear about something like this.
There was nothing happening there. And the luxury food that they promised was a ham and cheese sandwich. And they just had these tents out in the Bahamas, and obviously acts canceled. And then flights started getting later canceled or something, and people were struggling to get off, and eventually the National Guard of, I think, the Bahamas or something, some group like that, a government group, had to intervene and called it an emergency situation and had to evacuate people from the island because the festival just didn't have any funds to do this. So it comes to the question of was it just a scam?
So wait,
basically?
So the festival paid for their tickets there?
Well, no, I don't know how that worked.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe their flight to the Bahamas was part of the ticket price, or maybe they had to buy the ticket and then fly themselves to the Bahamas. But oh no, there was something. I think they advertised that you'll be taken there on a private jet. So I think it was part of it. But basically, they got a bunch of rich kids and stranded them in the Bahamas for
That sounds like a horror movie.
Oh gosh, it's just. But so the funny thing that arose from this, the little news segment that I found on this, is apparently even before this happened, for some time, the comedy gang of Seth Rogen and Lonely Island had actually been planning and producing a movie about a music festival that went horribly wrong.
Oh,
and
man.
So they announced on Twitter, did they stole our idea, jokingly saying, they stole our idea. But it happened in real life.
Although, luckily, now instead of paying writers and actors, they can take the news footage.
Yeah, all they need is the news footage. It saves a lot of money on their likely high budget. They've got some high. Seth Rogen has some high budget comedy movies.
So do they think it was a scam?
There's this is actually there's been conventions before that, or festivals that are kind of like this, where it just kind of seems like they never really had, it just never really seemed like it was ever going to come into place. It's hard to say, and I haven't looked into it much since the first news broke, and then I saw this. I wonder, there's probably going to be some vigilantes online doing investigations to see if this is a scam. So whether it was a scam or they're just really, really bad at throwing a festival, I don't know. But it's kind of morbidly funny to me how bad this was. Just a bunch of rich kids stranded in the Bahamas. Well, I mean, I feel bad for them because, to a degree,
$450 though.
Because I mean, I guess I feel bad if there is someone who really should not have been buying a ticket to a festival in the Bahamas and probably went broke trying to see this thing that ended up just being eating a ham and cheese sandwich out in
This
the
guy
desert.
was like, Grandma, can you oh, sure, sonny boy. Here's the ticket. Here's the money.
I've saved so long for this, and I had a ham and cheese sandwich.
Grandma, all goes ham and cheese. Well, I hope the ham and cheese is worth $450.
What if someone was just having a great time? Someone just, oh, this is great.
They're probably on drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's ham and cheese, man.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's likely. So I guess not a lot much else to say other than if you didn't know that.
It does sound like a horror movie.
Yeah.
It sounds like you might want your guy James Wan to direct a movie about that.
Yeah.
With callback to a previous episode.
Yeah, and you know there might be more because spoiler to my next topic might even bring back another horror tale,
man.
a famous horror tale from the horror crypt.
Oh boy,
we need one of those famous. What's that famous? The guy who the guy who did the voice at the beginning of Thriller. He's like a horror voice guy. We need that guy to intro our podcast.
I don't know who that is.
Put that on the docket. We're gonna get a professional horror voice guy. I don't know if he's alive, but he's gonna...
that's what I was. I'm just man. If he was big in the A's, that was almost. We're coming up to the point that was almost 40 years ago.
We'll find a way.
We'll find it.
It was in a song about undead related things, so you never know.
He could come back, man. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson could someday.
There's also that lady with the really high voice. I think her name is Zelda or something. She has this really high voice. She does horror voiceovers. We'll get her.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. No, I mean
we can't pay her, but
you will hear it in this episode. Count on it.